Well, this stuff. Hey, kitty, coming in? Well, justice will be served. Ooh, Reddington Shores. I like there. I definitely like Reddington Shores. Alright, let me post this in here. Oh, we'll get rolling here in about 2 minutes. All right. Good joy. Good joy, joy. Wow. Good morning. I cannot drink coffee anymore. So I am starting my coffee withdrawals today. So if I'm not up to speed, I am coffeeless. I have to drink decaf tea. I guess I could drink decaf coffee. But yeah, PRTS is, I guess, having a buyout. No, it's a penny stock. Eee. But yeah, so it is not very friendly with my decaf. I'm not a big decaf fan, but I have high hemocrint levels, I think it's called. So, doc said no more coffee. I have to drink lots of water. So this should be interesting. Decaf, I know. What is that? I know. Trust me, I know. Yeah, still in Disney. I probably should have closed it. I was up around 43%, but we never got a little bid. And then yesterday with the big sell-off, everything took a big hit in the Dow. It was holding up well too, but the Dow's down 1,500 in 2 days. So obviously, having a wait in there is not going to be good. Do you use Lance trade email? No, I'm getting an email hopefully tomorrow. I have a new assistant starting. I have my call today with them. So I'm getting an executive assistant from that Athena site. So hopefully I'll have her create me an email and do all that jazz. And then I'm hiring a helper to really help, especially in the option pit, and to do all the Google documents and spreadsheets. Hopefully by the end of the day. So I'm very busy today. So I'm actually happy the market's doing nothing, because I got a lot of running around to do. Yeah. But let's get rolling here. It's a little after 9 o'clock. And we'll get rolling. All right, so let's see what's going on today. Futures pumped and dumped already. So I think the big thing, and we'll talk about this here in a minute, was everyone thought Trump would save the market last night. And when everyone thinks that's going to happen, what does the market do? The opposite, right? So the market's going to do the opposite of what everyone is anticipating or thinking. So I get, I get all the newsletters, all the, even the guys here, and they're all like, yeah, this is it. The bottom is in. Trump's going to save the market. And then, obviously, so it does the opposite, right? Not to, make fun of everyone, but again, you want to always be a contrarian. That's why I sold, a lot too. Really don't have many longs left. The DAX is up a lot. That's good. Europe's up a lot. The German DAX has been outperforming. And then the Hang Seng is up a lot. The German DAX has been a big leader, but also the Dow was a big holding up well up until recently. We do have a lot of conferences going on, so that is good. You might want to keep an eye on MSTR, NVST with analyst days. So that's something to make note of. And then for earnings, I think we have Moderna's bid with an insider buy. For earnings, TFC got upgraded. So we saw some TFC calls yesterday. TFC got upgraded. Barrett Gold upgrade. Annette got upgrade. Did anyone hold those Annette puts a little bit longer from Wiretap? I got out at like 175 from 160, and then they went up to like $5-6 yesterday. I should have held on. T-Mobile with the downgrade, that should affect T and Verizon. Big downgrade with T-Mobile. And then all this doesn't really matter. But let's see who we have reporting earnings after the bell today. I think I have an earnings calendar here. And let me see if I can pull that up here. Let me grab that for y'all. But I'm excited to finally get a helper, because I feel like I haven't been posting a lot lately. All right, here's an earnings calendar. Let me download it. Make it real big and easy to read. Yeah, Foot Locker really didn't move. Kind of boring. I only did a 7 lot, so no harm, no foul. I'm not going big on earnings. So what do we have today after the bell? We got Marvel. So let's keep an eye on a couple of these names because we saw some big bull flow already in these stocks. We already saw some big bull bets. So I don't know. I'm sure some of y'all are already in. But if you're not in, let's just go ahead and pull up the option scanner. Got all my calendars here. Well, let's just go pull up the big boy scanner. As y'all might know it as the news flow scanner. So we did see some Marvel calls already. And I like these calls. We saw a couple orders of Marvel. I will say, obviously, everything moved yesterday. So, if we get a pullback today, you might be able to get in. But Marvel, that's a pretty big bet. 360 grand. Weekly 90s, weekly 80s yesterday. March 85s, leaps. Next week, March calls. So a lot of Marvel bullish bets. And you also had some Micron bulls to play with it. Micron, look at these weekly degenerates. So these are my kind of traders. Right here. About 330K. And then what else do you have this week? You got Avgo with earnings on Thursday. You got Avgo. So Marvel, actually Micron's the cheapest way to play them all. NVIDIA had a nice rally, by the way, yesterday. I mean, it was very volatile, so you really can't make money in the options. Unless you get like a 5-6% move. So kind of shitty on that. But what I'm going to look for is Macy's flow, BJ's, maybe some JD, maybe. Costco's too expensive. Gap, no. IoT saw some bearish put buying. So if you want to write these down, you can. Or obviously just get the big boy scanner. It's in the chat probably. IoT, not Riot. IoT, we saw some bearish put buying yesterday. And the weekly 45.5 puts. So they have earnings Thursday. And then, that's pretty much it. I mean, you might see some stuff in RGTI or ZS. Take a quick look. But I personally would not be getting too frisky. Hey, yeah, ZS, you saw some straddles or strangles, so wouldn't trade that. RGTI. Some small flow in April calls. It's small, only 160K, but it's something. Big short interest in it if you get a squeeze. The name could get loosed in RGTI. But basically, I would personally only look for the big short squeeze stocks. The small stocks that can short squeeze. Because everything else really just looks like crap out there. I mean, to be honest with y'all. Not a lot of good in the market at all. Very, very bearish. So let's actually pull up pre-market quotes. And if you need anything, I would just say look at the description. There might be a link for the scanner if you need the scanner. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and look. So markets pumped and dumped already on Trump. Classic pump and dump. I mean, we're seeing that in the stock market, not just crypto. So you had a big rally yesterday, back up to. Kind of reminds you of Monday, doesn't it? Back into resistance, rejected it, and then we went higher on the Trump speech last night, and now we're already about 50 points lower. So that's pretty volatile, right? It's not a little move. Very, very volatile. What we're seeing, right? So it's not just a small move, right? These are pretty big moves that we're seeing to the downside. And then So, a lot of people I feel like are scared, which you shouldn't be. And I'll show you a premium selling technique. CrowdStrike did a little dump on earnings after a big rally. So that was fun. CrowdStrike down about $30 pre-market. Probably within the implied move. It was already selling off, or the options on it. $30 implied move. So the right to the market maker's implied move. So not much to do there. What I have been doing, gang, is something very easy. And you can do that if you want. But what I've been doing, and if you're in the option pit, we did this yesterday for 100%. And you're not going to get rich quick doing it, but it's a very simple trade. So what I've been doing, so like yesterday, when instead of trading the S&P, let me make this big. So you should only really be day trading the SPY. It really has no advantages besides liquidity. That's it. You're getting taxed out the wazoo. Really what you should be trading is SPX or XSP because you get tax advantages. I'm not an accountant or anything, but you look it up. So all I've been doing is I've been taking the market maker's expected move. And this is really good right now because volatility makes markets friendly, especially in the options market. So all I'll be doing is I'll go today. Very simple, very easy to do. I'll go today, and it trades pre-market. I'll look right here at the market maker's move. It's $5.50. Okay? So the stock's at, let's just say 578 for easy math. I'll minus $5 or $5.50. So that would give me 573. Technically 572.5, but let's just say 573. Right? So I have 573 as my price. That's where the market makers can expect their hedging where the stock can go down if all hell breaks loose. To the upside, it would be $5 to the upside, so about 583. But usually in a volatile market, puts are going to be more expensive than calls because protection, just like insurance if you live on the beach, is going to be more expensive than if you live in the city. So all I'll do is I'll go to the 573 puts. I'll sell them. I'll buy the 572 puts. And you could get about a quarter for this. And I'll go to my risk profile. And basically for every $75, you can make $25 as long as the stock doesn't fall $5. Very simple. Very, very simple. Especially when you get big down opens. And then what happens is since these expire today, that time decay is like a snowball. It just accelerates so much that if XSP goes up a little bit, you're going to be up 40, 50% in an hour or two. So it's a real easy to do trade, real simple product. Just try to get anywhere between 20 and 25 cents when you do them. And then they just expire. There's no risk of assignment, which is a huge plus. So if you're trading a small account or you just don't like taking common, there's no risk of assignment because it's an index. So that's something I'll probably cover more in the near future, but very easy to do. All right, let's go to my favorite stock in the world. This is the only stock I really have any size on, and my only, really the only thing I care for in the market right now is, you already know it, it's Lunar. I added like an animal yesterday morning, and I got rewarded. My P&L swung about $7,000 in the green. So we got the March landing on March 6th. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, that's really, I mean, honestly, that's all I would be focused on right now is lunar. If you're not in, I don't know what to tell you. If you're in, hopefully you added. And you get earnings in March, by the way, so a little double whammy there. But let's look at the chat because that's all I really have for y'all today. I don't think you get frisky. If you're not making money in this market, I don't know what you should do. Maybe play bingo because this is one of the best stock markets ever. And the volatility is really, really good. So, yeah, it would depend where we open. So, if we open, so let's say $5, $5.73. So let's try to get like 24 cents for it. How long I hold lunar? Until the stock moves a ton. So there's two outs. If you are new, make sure you sign up for Shadow Trader so I don't have to repeat myself a million times. But I will because I don't mind. You got March 6th, you got the moon landing. So you got the moon landing March 6th, so you got out number 1. Then you got March 20th earnings, that's out number 2. And the reason why I'm, saying this stuff is let me ask y'all in the chat. What trades are people giving y'all? Are they talking about like Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, SPY? Is that what most of y'all hear about during the day? I just want to know to make sure, what y'all are doing. Right? Is that usually, or you watch CNBC, that's what they mostly talk about is, Nvidia and Apple and all that crap. All that stuff, right? You see Snorlax, yes. Actually, look at this. All right, look at that, huh? Lights up. I got nowhere to put them, though. Right, so you're probably getting all that kind of crap. And when I say crap, they're not bad stocks or bad companies or anything. The problem is there's no outs, right? So when I look at these crazy junky stocks, as I call them, I call them junky stocks. I guess there's not a Shadow Trader link in the chat. Well, I don't know if anyone can post it, or Deanna if you're around. Sorry. You probably just have to call in maybe. But when you look at these crazy stocks or my junky stocks, usually they have high short interest. That's mostly, it's names like quantum computing, the super micros, the Twilios, the Shopifys, the GitLabs, the Rockets, stuff like that, the eBays. What they can do is have individual stock news. Something that's not accounted for in the share price, specifically the option price, right? Or even like BABA and JD, those are good ones too. Those are real good ones because they're China, right? And look at China bid up today. It's a huge bid up in China today. And remember, JD has earnings. So when you have outs, news that isn't already priced in, those are the stocks that can have greater than expected market makers move. That's how you make money in the options market, by having a quick, aggressive move in the right direction that has not been priced in the share price already. So that's why when I say, if you're trading like Apple or Microsoft, you're trading against the brightest minds in the world and the computers and everything that is priced in. Like if Microsoft has an event next week, every analyst already knows about it and they know every detail about that event, right? You don't. Or even if you did, you can't compete. So that's why I say don't really trade those stocks. Like if you're in warped options, we did Google yesterday. It was fantastic, 50% in 2 hours, which is like insane because stock had a huge rally. But really, you could have done, or what I was looking at, I should say, was Google and Amazon, or what I could have done was the QQQ. Because Amazon, Google, they all move with the QQQ, right? They're all movers of the QQQ. It's just Google was the strongest. That's why I went with that one. It was green on the day by a long shot when everything else was red. But they all move in sync. So in that, you're basically calling the market. I don't really want to call the market that much. You know what I mean? I don't want to be too dependent because what happens, CFLT had a nice bid yesterday, yeah. What happens if the market craps the bed? Like right now, if you look at the E-mini S&P futures, we're flat on the day. But if you look at lunar, we're up, 2-3% pre-market. So you want names that can move despite what the market does. So that's kind of the hard part right now in trading is everyone's so caught up in what is the S&P doing? But you shouldn't be. Because volatility, and the reason why that XSP trade I like so much, let me just try to get filled here to show y'all. Let's try 23. Really? Let's try 22. We might have to wait till the market opens because liquidity might be a little bad here. With the high VIX, and I hope the VIX stays high. A high VIX is a good thing, just a heads up. VIX rally yesterday with the market, which is great. A high VIX means option prices become more expensive. So if you like to sell premium, like the XSP, you're going to get more money, which is great. If you're worried about high option prices, you could do call spreads or put spreads. Or you can stick with the lower price stocks with the cheap options. A, they're usually not dependent on the market. B, obviously they're cheap options. The hard part for me right now, and this is just being fully transparent, what about puts on crowd? No. Great question, though. Edmund says, what about puts on crowd? So the stock already moved down. It's down 28 bucks, right? And this is a good question, so I'm glad you asked it. Stock is down 28 bucks. The implied move was 30 bucks, right? So 30 bucks. The 360 puts are 640. So your break even is let's just say 554. And you're buying $6.50 puts? That's a horrible risk versus reward. That's like the worst trade you could be doing right now in the market. The worst. Because A, expensive puts, the stock moved within the market maker's move. That's actually something you want to go in and sell premium. Sell premium down here in the puts. So that's what I'm saying with these high option prices. It's very hard, even if you get direction right, since the option prices are so expensive, you're really going to have a hard time making money on the options. So the reason why Tesla, when we got it last Thursday, and we're only in for 2 or 3 days, the reason why I got out was if you look at Tesla, the implied move is so expensive that the option prices, just to give you an example, the implied move this week is 13 bucks. So that gives you the 280 calls, so the stock is flat pre-market, is 630. Your break even is 280, 630. That's a huge move just to break even on a call option, right? When you're doing a high risk, short dated option, you want at least 25-30% minimum, right? If you go out to March, you're spending $18 on a call option, $17 on a put, a $40 implied move in 16 days. You really start getting insane in the option prices. So really trying to stick with the cheapies out there is really, really good. So I don't have much for y'all. Oh, crap. The screen sharing is the wrong side. My bad. Whoops. I didn't realize that. But yeah, there's really not much. Today's probably the first day, gang, where there's probably not going to be much opportunity in the market. That's just being real with y'all. I don't think there's going to be much going on. So, sadly, I personally am just sticking with lunar. The stock's up a lot pre-market, and that's really it. I probably won't be doing anything today. Oh, door closed. Lunar's at 14. Calls should be up a little bit. If it goes down, I'll buy more. That's probably going to be it. I just don't think, don't get aggressive. Sell some premium if you want. Keep an eye on the market Eternals. But besides that, you're probably not going to get much action. It's an inside day. Look for flow on the short squeeze stocks. There's some names with earnings if you want to play them. But personally, I wouldn't get too frisky. All right, I'm out. And I think I'm on with Jack later today. I'm real busy today too, so this is why I need some help. They got me booked on all these webinars. We have a warped option training at 10. I have like 2 or 3 phone calls during the day with my executive assistant, an interview. So you probably won't hear much from me today, just being honest. And the market looks pretty hunched, so not a day to get frisky. Just close your eyes, hope lunar lands on the moon, and yeah, good day to go out to lunch, grab a margarita, and all that jazz while you, wait for the stock market to hopefully do something.